Now, people ask, what exactly is Kabbalah? Because this is some people who know me and, or seen me, and they ask me questions about Kabbalah. So some of them are really wild. Uh, People have misconception about what Kabbalah is all about. In my opinion, Kabbalah is about learning, of course, but the main thing is that what the Kabbalist is trying to do is perfect his prayer. And that is by learning the channels by which God relates to our world, and we hopefully will bring about the salvation of humanity. So here we have the ultimate connection with God, and what a tremendous, tremendous savior this is, and I recommend everybody buy this book. And it's a book that you read several times. I've read it this is at least my fourth reading. It's not something that I'm so adamantly holy that I've been able to connect with God all the time. That's for sure not true. But I could keep trying to connect. I could keep trying to get my prayers answered. As we see in Rabbi Nachman, he says that if basically that you want your prayers to be answered, so learn how to learn Torah. So here we're getting insights in exactly how do we direct ourselves, how do we control ourselves, our mind, so it's not just running away with us, and get a real insight, the ultimate connection with God, 7-step guide to Jewish spirituality. And here is the author, Rabbi Yosef Chaim MIMRAN. These are short chapters. I just love it as a reader. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer to this. And here's a chapter. Now you have to understand, if you're not familiar with the Jewish perspective, that the world is really, as we know the world, and we're not talking about just the rocks and the physicality of the world, but the fact that human beings in the world have been here for 5,784 years. And if you look in history, you'll find that the history of Mesopotamia, which is really where everything began, in the Tigris, that is where civilization began, in the Tigris-Euphrates area, today Iraq and northern Syria. It says that this is where we see the first records of people, human beings. So what came before that's really not important, because the human being is really the recorder of history. So we talk about the fact that this is the year 5,784. Now he talks about the concept of the 6,000 years. Because if you know Kabbalah a little bit, you understand that the number 6 really represents the manifestation of godliness. And if you get to the 7th year, then you're really beyond that. The 7,000th year, then you're really way beyond that. So let's read this and see what Rabbi MIMRAN wants to tell us. He says, in truth, the neshama breaks the negative elements and allows the raising up of the original light before the sin. This is the purpose of man's service to God, and to separate himself from his dirty clothing. This is Chesed LaAvraham. That's the river. Nahar is a river, 2.12. So this idea again, what's the neshama? So the Jewish concept of neshama is that element of that thread of infinity which is lodged within us. Is to be able to find that and to be able to connect to it. That's the clinging he's talking about. Now, we're living in 6,000 years, and what we're really saying is that in our counting, and in the time of the first man, of Adam and Rishon, that is Adam and Eve, there really was no time. Not until the sin started. And once they committed their sin, then their lives were shortened. They wouldn't live eternally, that they would actually be people like us, physical people who wear out, just like everything in the world actually wears out. Part of the thought is that the world itself will eventually wear out. Where does it go after that? Well, let's get to this. Never get into any negativity that surrounds you. Know that there is great hope for humanity. The Borei Olam, that is the creator of the world, has allotted 6,000 years to this world in which we live. As we are reaching the end of that time period, as Chazal have taught us, there will be a clear reversal of roles between the Yetzer Hara, that is the Satan that is within us, and the Yetzer Tov, and that is the thread of infinity which lies within it. The powers of good in the world will increase, while the powers of evil will decrease. This will be due to the billions and trillions of holy sparks of light that the people of Klal Yisrael have salvaged over the millennia through their service to Hashem. This is a deep Kabbalistic concept whose details are beyond the scope of this work. What is clear, though, is that humanity will be saved from itself through Klal Yisrael, that is the Jewish people's service of Hashem. In a worst-case scenario, the Navi Yeshayahu, which is Josiah, I'm not sure really how he translated it in English, tells us, Ani Hashem bi'ita achishena. I am God who will bring forth redemption, that is from the Yetzer Hara, which he says is our ego, at the end of days or earlier, due to your service. This is the prophet saying this. What is the service he's talking about? This verse is telling us that if we do not manage to allow our precious souls to surface and claim their rightful place in our lives, thus regaining control of the ego, then Hashem, through his appointed one, the Mashiach, the Messiah, will redeem us at the latest possible appointed time. Humanity will be saved from itself through Klal Yisrael's service of Hashem. So understand that what we're doing and what we're trying to do in the learning of Torah is revealing that light of infinity, of eternality, which is within us. This is Baruch Fleischman, Rabbi Yosef Chaim MIMRAN's ultimate connection with God.